So going through this lesson plan quickly, the target audience is, enthusiasts, keen on enhancing blockchain skills, especially with data, researchers in general in the space, data analysts, again, specifically, maybe not researchers, but people who already have an idea of how to analyze large sets of data. Many times on the blockchain, you'll hear about like indexers having to, pull out specific data, and it becomes very important to understand how to choose what to pull out and how to analyze that. Computer science students and academics in general, I think many computer science students will find a lot of this information interesting, and they'll have to be able to jump right in. And then generally, I know we have a lot of people here just in the Near community at large who just might want a better understanding about how to interact with the tools that exist here. So that's awesome. For the objectives, we'll explore some methods, digging into Near blocks. We'll have a guest lecture from pikespeak, and I'll quickly I think the poll is open for another week, just to give, again, if students are joining in today for the first time and haven't had a chance to participate, you can still join in, and we are going to use some of the results from this poll in future classes. So, please have fun, join in, and share with the rest of the class. They're in Near Protocol Web3, and maybe we can work on a group project together. So yeah, feel free to use these on-chain questions, and not only for us as facilitators, but also as classmates as well. Well, let's say I want to find more about, this is just a user interface. Remember, just because something is on a UI, you must stay safe, doesn't mean it's actually correct or true. And we should, we can trust, but we should also be able to verify in the blockchain ecosystem. So I kind of already did a little bit of verification myself, but this is where a block explorer can be helpful, can be useful. So I already found the transaction here, right? This one here. But you can the Explorer has a lot of amazing information about the blockchain. So I will quickly go here, and you can realize that you don't have to look up all the information yourself. You can find out the near price currently, how many transactions have gone through, almost 1 billion. That's actually wild. Very excited for that party. You can see the transaction history, how much transactions over time. Block time is definitely speeding up. That is a fun area of research I would actually personally love to go into. Because if the blockchain gets faster and faster, not every machine might be able to keep up. A lot of fun stuff. A lot of active validators, and we can see our market cap. Also, you see live transactions coming in, and so a lot of information to easily. A lot of people are used to Etherscan, for example, from the Ethereum or other EVM ecosystems. So this is a similar type of page for the Near ecosystem. So hopefully that's clear. But in this transaction, you can kind of get more, in this block explorer, you can get more information specifically about every transaction your account has made. So this could be a DeFi transaction, this could be an NFT interaction transaction, this could be anything on the blockchain, but you can see that this is from my account. We're interacting with the social.near smart contract. Last week we talked about how this is how you interact with Near Social, Near.org. And you could actually see the gas fees, the transaction fees, and the execution plan. And that's where we're going to kind of be looking a lot as we're doing research on blockchain interactions. So we have our account here, we've searched, we know this is us, we can figure out what block it's in, so we can get some chronological ordering here. And we could also see, let's see if I make this bigger, the data for my answers, right? So this is these are the arguments. We have a question from Tammy. If you have a question, no worries, you can unmute and ask, or feel free to use the chat. If not, and it was a mistake, I'll just keep going. So thank you very much. So in the arguments of this function call, we're interacting with, Near Antigua is the account, and it's being indexed as, an easy poll answer. You can figure out who made the easy poll. This is kind of identifying the actual poll. And you can find out the answers. So it might be a bit confusing at first to read through some of this JSON notation, but after a while, you start realizing you can kind of sift through a lot of things and skip over them. Also, again, I know we will talk about AI tools many times in this class. GPT 3.5, 4, whatever you have access to, is a great way to analyze JSON. If you're very new to it, you can just, take this information, copy and paste it into AI and be like, hey, can you please try and explain to me what this is saying? And it'll help you kind of understand maybe a little more of where these links are coming from and where some of this hashing is coming from. But it's here. We can see that on the blockchain. this information is here, so it should be correct. So if we read other students' information, we can find, leadum underscore ix dot near, and we can find their information as well and see, okay, it seems like the UI is matching up with the blockchain. But again, this is just a UI. This is just a UI someone else has made to try and dictate what the blockchain is saying. And so maybe you'd like to verify even further. And so, for this example, I'm just using a post from Near Social. And this one's coming from the Research Collective DAO, talking about, okay, if you're a student of the Near Certified Researcher course and you bring a friend to the next class, you have a chance of getting 20 USDC each. So USDC is a stable coin. It's available on the Near blockchain. And so it should be equivalent to 20 US dollars. That's kind of the idea between these stable coins. And so 20 bucks each for kind of bringing a student to share the good news of the course. So some guidelines: you should be an active participant. You should be active on the socials, so X, YouTube, Near Social. You could find those linked in the DAO page. And your friend must also be going on. So this is the page. We're going to try and find some more information. And so this is the DAO, right? We're kind of working our way back to figure out who actually posted this information. And so on this DAO, we are going to find the actual post this came from. But we're trying to figure out how this information actually got onto this user interface, and where do we find it on the blockchain, and how do we index and analyze some of this information. So we can scroll down on the user interface and we can see, okay, this UI actually shows us again the information. Rewards will be distributed once your friend's activity has been verified and all guidelines are met. Okay, so this seems correct. I can also see some information about who posted it. Hannah.near was the proposer. This is the description. Again, we're seeing the same smart contract being interacted with. And we can use this information now to actually do a few things. And so I'm gonna, just for time's sake, jump directly to how we can just use the Near CLI, for example, instead of Near blocks, to see this information for ourselves. So in the course information, if we the information about installing the Near CLI, information about some basic commands and documentation, but we're going to skip down to the bottom of the notes, and we can actually get that information right here. So if this is your very, very, very first time interacting, again, I have a lot of this up here already, but if it's your very first time interacting, you are able to use this command here, npm install -g Near CLI. This is just you install it using the Node packet manager to install this package to your machine globally. So you can use it for lots of Near calls. So the type of Near calls you can call are listed here. So for example, Near state, Chloe.near, and you can get some information about your Near account or my Near account or whoever's Near account that's active on the entire blockchain. So again, this is how you might start being able to verify some of this information for yourself without using user interface. Sometimes you'll notice Near blocks might be slow or down, or other block explorers that exist might not be doing everything you want because they might be under heavy load. But you should be able to always, hopefully, use Near CLI to look up information, and you can always run your own node locally to ping and get your information. So this goes a bit deeper depending on how much you want to verify. You can have light clients and the like. But for now, you can kind of see how using your terminal on your machine, you can do it on mobile devices as well. There's applications you can use for this. But we're going to quickly look at view calls. So there's like two main types of function calls in the Near ecosystem. You have like a Near call, which would be an actual function call, where you'd pay a gas fee and you'd like change state on the blockchain. So maybe you'd have one Near token and you'd transfer half of a Near token to a friend, so the state of your account would change. And then they have view calls, where there's no actual state change. Okay, I'm not even going to go too much detail, but there's no actual state change, and you could just view something that's happening on the blockchain. So here you can see that I'm interacting with the Near CLI. I'm going to call a view function on this smart contract, the research-collective.sputnik-dao.near. And that is the DAO that we have here, research-collective. And I found this from the post, right, that we were looking at. Go back, I guess. No, I've probably lost it. Oh, there it is. So the post here, I was able to know that the post was from the DAO, and now I'm able to kind of work my way back and find, know what smart contract to interact with. I'm trying to get proposal, right? This is a view function that a developer wrote into this DAO, and I can then use this in my terminal to try and get some more information about this proposal. So it's going to call. Okay, so what happened was we then, called in. Look at that. We're getting information about the proposal. We're getting the description, and then a bunch of random information. So when we were on the UI, a developer, thank you very much to all the developers out there, actually did the work for us. They took this information that we're seeing in the terminal, and they converted it into, I guess, into JSON or into the actual, notation that we would be used to seeing every day. Not into JSON. It's already in JSON. Anyways, you could use websites like this to do the same. So I'll show this website because to me, I use it actually quite often when I'm doing research on chain, because it could be a bit annoying sometimes to have to go back and forth between, base 64 and, like this and stuff we're used to reading every day. So you can take what was output. So obviously I did